Signed in the summer of 2016, Gabriel Jesus has had quite a time in Manchester. 93 goals, 3 league titles and countless other honours. Into the final year of his City contract, the Brazilian is set to be on the move this summer. But let's find out today if he's in talks with Arsenal over a potential transfer. What's the price tag that Napoli have set for Victor Osimhen? What's the latest on Thomas Partey? And could Mohamed Elneny be given a brand new Arsenal contract? Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Bellerin. Welcome back to your boys channel, and right now Arsenal fans are just happy. We beat Chelsea, we beat Man United, we're in the top 4 again, and life's looking alright all of a sudden. If you enjoy the content, make sure to go down there, smash a like. Also do subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let's get straight into all of the latest Arsenal news. And starting off with Arsenal's pursuit for a brand new centre forward. Over the weekend, a lot of Arsenal fans of course focused on the main thing, the match day itself, and that was amazing. But there was also been quite a few reports since your boys' last episode of the Arsenal news, and yeah, some very interesting targets are being linked to Arsenal Football Club. But starting off with Arsenal's strategy, because according to Cody Gakpo, when speaking to ESPN Brazil after the game, he says maybe next season we go for 1 or 2 big players. Our planning has already been done. It has already reached the owners. It's a matter of step by step how we will end the season and put the plan into place that I am very excited about. So Cody Gakpo outlines that Arsenal's main focus this summer will be 2 big transfers. Now that doesn't mean that Arsenal aren't going to sign any other players. I still think we'll see Arsenal sign 3 or 4, maybe 5 players. But I think what he's saying is the focus will be on the 2 big players. And as Mikel Arteta has said in the past, those signings are going to be level raisers. Players that have the experience, that won't need time to adapt and are already at a very high level. When you're talking about teams and players at a high level, you have to talk about Manchester City, top of the Premier League, and they have a certain Brazilian striker who is set to leave in the summer transfer window. And that of course is Mr. Gabriel Jesus. But in terms of Arsenal, the reports all started on Friday afternoon, as Brazilian reporter Jorge Nicola confirmed that Gabriel Jesus is in very advanced talks with Arsenal over a transfer. All that is now needed is an agreement with Manchester City. These reports hit Arsenal fans like an RKO out of nowhere. We were very surprised. Gabriel Jesus to Arsenal, this is mental. But then you had the co-sign from Mr. David Ornstein, who also confirmed that Arsenal are exploring the possibility of signing Gabriel Jesus from Man City. The clubs are yet to speak, but talks between Edu and the reps of Jesus have happened for months. The 25-year-old is open to the idea, and Arsenal are current favourites. And it's not just Mr. David Ornstein, but also Mr. Here We Go, as Fabrizio Romano confirms that Gabriel Jesus will leave Man City in the summer. The plan is clear since months, as they're working on Erling Haaland deal, and contract expires in 2023. Arsenal's interest is confirmed and serious as per Jorge Nicola and David Ornstein, but still no bid or direct talks between the clubs. So what we know so far, and is essentially confirmed, is Arsenal have serious interest in Gabriel Jesus. But in terms of the advanced talks, I think that's between Arsenal and the people of Gabriel Jesus. As the reports confirmed, the player wants to come to Arsenal, he's open to the idea, he wants to be a first team starter week in week out, and Arsenal can offer him that. He also has worked in the past with Mikel Arteta, and also in terms of his current wages, he's not on a massive contract at Man City. And according to the first reporter in Jorge Nicola, he confirms that Arsenal have offered Gabriel Jesus a salary of €6 million per season. He currently earns €3.5 million at Man City. The Brazilian has given the green light for a move to North London. Now €6 million to us is massive, but the footballers, I think that translates to around £100,000 or just above that a week. So to sign Gabriel Jesus, to see what he has already, which is Premier League experience, Premier League winning experience, so he understands what it means to be at a top club where the standards are so high there. He's been a massive part of Man City and their success. After all, he was the goal scorer which clinched them the 100-point season. And ultimately speaking, with that Premier League experience and the age profile of 25 years of age, this is a player entering the peak of his powers. He understands the Premier League and what it takes to win it. He's worked under Mikel Arteta, and 93 goals over the course of his Man City career says he knows where the back of the net is. This year in the Premier League, he has 7 goals and 8 assists, and out of those 7 goals, 4 of them came in his last appearance in the Premier League against Watford. He's a player that excels when it comes to key passes and a lot of the passing metrics. He's a very secure player in that final third, and for an Arsenal manager and Arteta that wants to sustain dominance in that final third, a player like Jesus Jesus perfectly fits that, hence why he's played so many games for Man City. So for an Arsenal team that wants to add experience but also want to strengthen their front line, to get a versatile attacker like Jesus that can also play out wide, in many ways this is a fantastic opportunity. But what do you guys make of Gabriel Jesus, and for a reported price tag of what we're hearing of £25 million, do you think Arsenal should be signing Gabriel Jesus? But us Arsenal fans also want to see a top centre forward who's an out and out goal scorer, and as decent as a goal scorer as Jesus is, he's not the elite goal scorer that so many Arsenal fans want. But as reported by The Telegraph and Mike McGough, Arsenal are planning to sign 2 strikers during the summer transfer window to replace Lacazette and Aubameyang. Personally, I think Arsenal will sign a Jesus on top of another centre forward, more of an out and out goal scorer, and on that type of profile, let's start off in Naples and Victor Osimhen, because according to the reliable James Bench of CBS Sports, Napoli wants at least €80 million if they are to consider selling Victor Osimhen. He is among the many strikers that Arsenal have been tracking over recent months, and even according to Gazzetta dello Sport in Italy, right now Osimhen has his eyes on Premier League clubs. In particular, Arsenal have already taken several concrete steps through intermediaries. Osimhen would be happy to join Arsenal. There is no definite agreement yet, also because Osimhen wants to play in the Champions League. If Arsenal want to sign that next top striker, I think Champions League football is going to be necessary. But most importantly, in terms of finances there, if the price tag is €80 million, that's only around £67 million, which brings Osimhen in line with the other Arsenal striking targets. With the Arsenal ownership once again willing to back Mikel Arteta massively, I think financially, this is a transfer that Arsenal can most certainly make happen. And when it comes to goal scoring, Victor Osimhen is up there with the best strikers in Europe when it comes to non-penalty goals this season. He's a good physical presence at 6'2", has a very decent turn of pace, and at just 23 years of age, for me, he is set to explode as a superstar striker in the coming years. But for £67 million, do you guys want to see Arsenal sign Victor Osimhen? Fabrizio Romano, speaking on Darwin Nunez, says the first club to approach Benfica in January was Arsenal, but Benfica told them that they had no interest in selling the player during the season in the January markets, so it was impossible for Arsenal to even do a proposal. And it indicates that Arsenal have serious interest, and in the summer transfer window, don't be surprised if Arsenal make a massive offer. 33 goals in 39 appearances and 25 and 26 in the league. It speaks to why Arsenal won him. This guy is a top goal scoring centre forward. He's still pretty young at 22 as well, and physically has the profile to give Arsenal an explosive outlet in behind. But the issue for Arsenal here, of course, is going to be the competition. There are clubs that also want to sign him that have the security of the Champions League, but also have the finances to go toe to toe with Arsenal Football Club. Or the reported price tag being similar to a Victor Osimhen in £67 million, if Arsenal could only sign one of those strikers in the summer transfer window, who do you think Arsenal should be making the priority? Moving on, let's discuss Mohamed Elneny. The real Egyptian king moved to one side Mo Salah, the Egyptian pillar, when it mattered the most for Arsenal, struggling without Thomas Partey. Mr. Mohamed Elneny has stepped up in the last 2 games against Chelsea and Man United and put in 2 masterclasses. But with him being out of contract at the end of the season, after the United game, Elneny confirms that he wants to sign a new contract with Arsenal, saying that if Arsenal told me that we want you, I wouldn't think of leaving. They have been my family for 6 years and I love this club. I am just waiting for the club to decide what they want. Now, do I think that Elneny is the guy for Arsenal in the long term? The quality that we require to compete with the best teams in the league, to partner Thomas Partey and take us to the next level? The answer is no. But as a squad backup player, a player that has no complaints, a player that is fantastic for the dressing room and a character behind the scenes, has a vast amount of experience of playing at high pressure moments, and is not going to demand any massive wages. Despite him obviously not being a world-class midfielder, with Arsenal set to return to European football, maybe even the Champions League, we're going to require a massive squad, so there can be an argument made that Arsenal could and should be keeping Mohamed Elneny. I think long-term wise, would he get into Man City squad or Chelsea squad, Liverpool squad? I have my doubts, but at the same time, what you guys make of Mohamed Elneny? Out of contract at the end of the season, if it came down to you, would you be giving brother Mo a brand new contract? But talking about Arsenal central midfielders, what about Thomas Partey? Well, recently on his Instagram story, he has posted a photo of him running on a treadmill as he steps up his rehabilitation from his injury at London Colney. 5 games left of the season. Is Thomas Partey going to return prior to that? For me, I have my massive doubts, but Arsenal have confirmed. For me, I have my massive concerns. But the fact that Arsenal are yet to confirm that he is indeed out, unlike how they have done with Kieran Tierney, there is almost a glimmer of hope that maybe going into that massive North London derby that we could have the Ghanaian excellence back in the Arsenal central central midfield. It will give Arsenal an almighty gargantuan boost, but at the same time, with it being a muscular injury, Arsenal will have to manage it very carefully. According to Fabrizio Romano, Declan Rice has turned down a third offer of a new contract from West Ham and is open to a summer transfer. Now Arsenal, on top of a striker, want to sign a brand new midfielder, and in Declan Rice, I've seen a few Arsenal fans shout this, maybe there's an opportunity here. Of course, the key here is going to be Champions League footy, and I don't see Rice leaving West Ham if we don't have that, and I'm sure the likes of Chelsea and Man United have interest as well. But let's just play the hypothetics for a second and say Arsenal were to return to the Champions League. Say Mikel Arteta was given these massive funds, almost career mode-esque, to go and sign whatever player. My question to you guys is, if Arsenal could afford him and attract him, would you bring Declan Rice to the Emirates Stadium in the summer transfer window? According to PSV reporter Rick Elfrink, Liverpool, Man City and Dortmund are all after Cody Gakpo's signature. However, it's Arsenal who are leading the race to land him. What you have here is a tier 1 source of PSV News in Rick Elfrink, and he's confirmed that Arsenal are the favourites to land Cody Gakpo. But as things stands, we have quite a few wingers in Bukayo Saka, Martin Elneny, Nicola Pepe, you've got Omari Hutchinson, you can even count Emile Smith-Rowe, and if we were to sign a Gabriel Jesus, he is also capable of playing out wide as well. But what are your own thoughts on the situation, and do you think Arsenal should be signing a brand new winger in Cody Gakpo? And moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off in the land of Spain, let's go over to Real Betis and see Arsenal loanee Hector Bellerin, who played the full 120 minutes and provided an assist as Real Betis beat Valencia 5-4 on penalties to win the Copa del Rey on a historic night. Yet another trophy in the bank for Hecky B. It's things you love to see. Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, eat your hearts out. Bellerin is out there on loan and has no option or obligation to buy. And I think going into the summer transfer window, don't be surprised if Arsenal recoup a decent little transfer fee for Mr. Hecky B. Moving on to stat time of the day, and in terms of expected points per 90, since the end of the January transfer window for teams in the Premier League, Arsenal rank 4th behind Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester City, averaging 1.88 expected points per game. So essentially speaking, since the end of the transfer window where Arsenal signed no players and it was a massive meltdown from the Arsenal fanbase, factually speaking, Arsenal have been the 4th best team in the Premier League when it comes to the expected points. And to some Arsenal fans that might be surprised, but it's not for me. Arsenal were pretty consistent up until, of course, that 3-game losing streak came around, and apart from that, we've only actually lost to Liverpool. According to Simon Collins, in Arsenal's game versus Chelsea, those at Stamford Bridge may have noticed Granit Xhaka spending the first minute monitoring the bench, walking around with his arms in the air. This was done as Arsenal had devised multiple tactical plans, with those in defence able to play in a 3 or a 4. I think in this case here illustrates what he is to Mikel Arteta, and that is being almost the Arsenal manager on the pitch. And as his tweet points out, Xhaka left the Emirates in his car being pursued by fans on foot begging for pics and autographs. He obliged. He opened his window, smiled and beeped his horn as he drove off when the lights turned green. The fans roared back. The relationship has come full circle. Xhaka and Arsenal fans have a pretty hit and miss history, but right now I think Arsenal fans are now starting to see the importance of Xhaka in the absence of Thomas Partey. And what has mattered the most in his last 2 games, Xhaka has stepped up. I don't think he's going to be the next Arsenal captain, but on the field his actions speak differently. What are your own thoughts on Granit Xhaka, and do you think he still has a future in the long term past this season at Arsenal Football Club? But that is the video there, so if you guys have enjoyed, make sure to go down there, smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you would like to follow your boy on all of those social medias, then the links will be down below in the description. But that was all of the latest Arsenal news today, so I hope you guys have enjoyed and been informed as always. And there's a certain Brazilian on his way to the Emirates. We are gonna have to wait and see, but until then, take care of yourselves and in a bit.